So how do I get students for my lessons? A really important question, a really crucial part of teaching, because without students, can you really call yourself a teacher? The answer is probably no. So let's help you get some students. I know it can be really frustrating, especially when you're first starting out and you're ready to teach, you have all these lessons planned and everything, but you don't have any students or anyone to teach to. So let's see if we can get the ball rolling, and here are some tips and some things that you need to do to get your client base growing. So without a doubt, your best form of advertising is one of your students who can play well, because all guitarists and musicians are show-offs, and they're going to show off to all their friends, tell everyone what they're doing, and everyone's going to know that it was you who taught them. It only takes one student and word of mouth to really get round. So once you have that first student, you're going to get the ball rolling, because word of mouth, no matter what kind of advertising you do, putting adverts out everywhere, word of mouth is without a doubt the best way for spreading yourself out as a guitar teacher and getting people to know what you're doing. So how do we get that first student? How do we get the ball rolling? So the first thing that you need to do is tell everyone, doesn't matter who it is, tell everyone what you're doing. If somebody that you haven't seen for a while asks what you're up to, say, hey, I'm teaching guitar now. Tell your parents, tell everyone at school, shout it from the rooftops. It doesn't matter, send it by Raven to everyone in the UK or wherever you teach. You need to let everyone know what you're doing, because you never know, 7 months down the line or whatever, when somebody wants a guitar lesson, you'll be in their mind. They'll be thinking, oh, so-and-so teaches guitar, I'll give them a call. Then you're first on their list, and that's how it works. You need to start making inroads and things as early on as possible, and it will pay off in the long run. I know that people I've mentioned to, it could be a long time ago when I was working a couple of the jobs back in the day, I told my boss that I was thinking about teaching guitar. 2 years later, I was teaching her son how to play, and it's just how it works, and you'll be in their mind as the guy to go to locally. So another more practical thing you can do is use local shops and places, especially your local music shop. They're going to be your biggest ally in getting your feet off the ground. A lot of kids and parents are going to go to these music shops for starter guitars or for information on what's going on, and they're most likely going to ask these guys, where can I get lessons? You want to be that guy, you want to be the first one on the list, but then they tell the parents that there's somebody teaching locally, you want it to be you. So let the guys know that you're teaching locally, and if anyone comes in looking for lessons, to give you a call. The other thing that you need to do if you want to be active is advertise online. It's super obvious and it seems really simple, but those people don't bother doing it, and everybody who's everybody, unless you live under a rock, looks for lessons online. Almost every student I've got, apart from word of mouth, have Googled guitar lessons in location. So put an ad up online, whether it's through Facebook, whatever, just make sure that you show up in the top 1 or 2 searches, and you'll be getting calls straight away. Look at your competition in the local area and see what they've done in terms of SEO and search engine stuff, and make sure that when people look for guitar lessons or music lessons in your local town, village, whatever, that you're up there and you will get calls. Having said that, with the online stuff, don't overlook physical advertising. Newspapers actually really help, especially, I live in quite a small town, and it kind of helped to get my name spread around because the local newspaper is still kind of a thing that people do. But that totally depends on where you live. If you live in a big city or something, it might not be worth it, but I know that most people actually read the local paper here, which might be a little bit different to where you live, but just kind of take into account where you live. If you live in somewhere smaller, then maybe flyers and stuff might be for you. If you live in somewhere a little bit bigger, then go for something online. Another really useful tip is to get to know the other local teachers in the area. I know you'll probably see them as your enemies and guys that might take away your competition or whatever, but you need to kind of be part of a teaching community. And one of the biggest influxes of students that I got was when another teacher that I knew moved away, and he couldn't teach the students in the area anymore, and they all came over to me, which was amazing and super useful. But often what will happen is if they're full and they can't take any more bookings and their list is too big, they might drop your name in somewhere. It's always useful to know who else is doing what you're doing in the area, and it's just good to know this anyway and just get to know what's going on. Another thing you can do, I know this is way down the line, but encourage your students to play live. And also something that I do in lessons is I record my students, I put them on a CD. If they're playing drums or playing guitar, I get them to do a cover of a song, and that's just something for them to show other people. Or if they play live at a school concert or something, other people are going to ask them, where did they learn? And that's you. So that's another way to get your lessons. That was stupid. I'm not going to do that anymore. So there you go, hopefully that's helped you get the ball rolling on getting some students in. Good luck as always, and subscribe for more tutorials and how-tos, and obviously leave a comment below if you have any suggestions or anything that I haven't covered that you want to go through. Thanks again.